Wow, I was just watching this teacher, she's pretty good. She's from Colombia, and I like her classes. Kind of high level Spanish, but wow, so good. Well, I just had a little emergency with my tripod. This is this is the part that moves around, like with Michelle. So I was pushing it out and it broke. Ooh, no bueno. But God always has a ram in the bush. And this thing has multiple things, and I was able to find another way to put the phone there. Wow. I am just so shocked. All right. Buenos dias, everyone. I am so excited. I am grateful that we are here. God has given us another day to be present, to be thankful. I watched this person this morning from Alabama after the redistricting thing, and she said one of the politicians made the comment that they wish that they would overturn the 14th Amendment, meaning that's got a lot of implication. But you know what? I keep saying in this day and age, the biggest challenge we have is to remain hopeful. That's why one day I came up here and I sang the African American anthem, Lord, I lift my hand to the hills. Where does my hope come from? My hope comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. And I say all the time, how do you live in this world, in this craziness, without losing yourself if you don't have faith? Think about it. If you don't have anything to grasp, anything to hang on, anything, good morning, Greta. Oh, thank you. It's a kind of it's like all the way to the floor. It's one of those long things that I bought for Etnia Negra. It had like a little thing in the middle, but then you know how, what's the word I'm looking for? Imperfect. I am over here. Thank you. And it's, I like things that kind of breathe, so it works. But the importance of faith, of controlling your mind to focus on the positive, or in going back and being grateful for everything that you have, everything that you've been spared of. I remember being in a car accident one time. I made a left turn and was T-boned, right, on the passenger side. And my car, I was driving my BMW at the time, my car crossed the median and then turned around and spun way on the other side. And when I look back and I'm like, how did I get over here? That was a road that had a lot of trucks. If a truck, as I was crossing the median, had come, that would have been the end of me. How many times we've seen people get killed like that? So, I'm like, okay. And it was like, did God just spare me this? It wasn't my time. And there was another time, it was a near miss. Again, it is appointed for men once to die. We know that. You have to get your mind around that. And as much as people like me, we take care of ourselves, we do the best that we can, we cannot shy away from the inevitable. Death, disease, disappointment, whatever it is. Everybody has a story, everybody gets hit, everybody gets hurt. So you got to go within yourself and say, despite this, I will stand. I will fight. And the fight is up here. The fight against hopelessness and helplessness. You're not hopeless. You're not helpless. There is always something you can do. Sometimes you gotta dig deep. And it doesn't mean that you don't get sad. I mean, I'm telling you, my tears are never too far away these days. In these times, we grieve the old. We grieve for what could come. But I don't know what could come. So I can't spend a lot of energy worrying about the what if, what if. That's out of your control. You have enough to work on yourself, to keep yourself standing, to show up every day with a smile on your face. After you cry, you wipe your face up and then you go at it again. Because you had to grasp onto something to hold on to. So today, I mean, with everything that is happening, the news and people being shot, and listen, it could affect my family. We had one of our cousins, one of my nephews got tased to death. He was having a psychiatric emergency. His mother called the police and they came. He was a big boy and they tased him, and then he was on the lawn in front of his home and they tased him enough that he died right there. Our family was broken. So everybody has been touched. You know, it's like when you talk about dementia or COVID, you say everybody knows somebody who was affected. I had COVID. I mean, I didn't die, but I had COVID. You know somebody who's been abused, who's been unfairly targeted or killed or shot. This is a hodgepodge. But how do we keep ourselves standing? How do we remain hopeful and pass that on to people around us? And I have to check myself because I don't want anything that I do or I say to influence my kids. I have 2 adult boys and I have a daughter. So I have to remain standing, if not for me, for them. So remember that. This is my little pep talk this morning. As you're crying, as your heart is grieved, you have a responsibility to stay strong, to remain standing. And you know, now that, you know, I'm retired, and then you're in a place where people are like, oh, fun. Sometimes people do that. It's a coping mechanism for them not to think about things too deeply because then they go in a funk. And I'm not begrudging anybody, however they live their lives. But I can't live my life like nothing is happening around me. The more you repress it, the more you keep it in, it's damaging. It's damaging. Good morning, HBS. Burn Pill. Oh, that's a new name. That's a new name. Kelly. Oh, how about that? Good morning, sister. You're a positive, real blessing in many ways to many of us. Oh, thank you. Listen, sis, I'm doing it for me too. When I'm talking to you, I'm trying to encourage myself, okay? So it is self-serving in a way. We need you in such a time like this. Keep being positive. I'm looking to retire as an NP. Hey, fellow NP. So I can relocate to Panama. Good for you. Good for you. But I think as we enter this realm of retirement, a lot of us were like, you know, I want to live in peace. And that's why a lot of us come to Panama, or I have this friend in Thailand. You know, we plan, and in our mind, we thought it was going to be, you know, we're going to be doing oh la la, holding hands and dancing and all this stuff. And then boom, well, your retirement is not so secure. This lady this morning, I don't know her, so I don't know how true her stuff was. Actually, she's a Hispanic lady who was talking, maybe on TikTok or one of those things. And she said, oh, by 2032, so I'm thinking 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 7 more years I may not be around, that Social Security is going to be cut down to 22%. How long have they been saying this? And if they do, what can I do about it? I don't have any power to do that. So what is the point of me worrying about something that might happen 6, 7 years down the line? Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, next month, next year? We don't know. This world is so crazy. And every time I think about how bad things are, you have to look back to see they've been bad back there too. Nothing is new under the sun. Man has always been wicked. And the level of wickedness, I knew intellectually, you read about it, but when you're seeing it in real time, a man with a family, young children, his wife finding him messing with the family dog in a sexual way. What the hell? The family pet. The things that people are doing are mind-boggling. I watched how they traffic these young ladies. How you could be sitting, the girl sitting on a bench at a park, and then somebody, in a park, and somebody comes around and just blows something close to her, and she passes out, and then they drag her, or they pack their drink, and then they pass him around, they drug him, and the level of wickedness. But it's always been like that, sis. This is where you have to go deep and say, this is not new. And the world has not exploded. This evil has always been with us. Always been with us. But you know what gives me hope? Is that out of the ashes, there's always someone, either a martyr or someone who stood firm to inspire us today. So what do you think your job is? My job. God has given me this platform. I'm always going to tell you the truth. I'm always going to be true to you because I can't fake it. I'm not a faker. Whatever it is, I'm going to tell you. If I'm having a moment, I'm like, wow, today's been one of those days. But I know I will rise again. Because what I can't, it's not in me to do that. To go, oh my God, oh my. Yes, I'm grieved. I'm sad. Just analyze yourself and acknowledge what you're feeling. You can't be walking around just floating around like nothing is happening. That is not healthy. That is not real. So I may look good and I feel good, but some days I wake up and I cry. I cry. I grieve. But I'm still standing. I will still come and talk to you and encourage you because we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. Our children are watching. Our friends are watching. So if you're in your home right now, on your knees, in the closet, you're reading your Bible or whatever it is that you need to do to encourage you, do it. But you know what you need to do after that? Go splash some water on your face, fix your face, and get back up. Get back up again. Remember that song? Get back up again. All right. See, I got off on a tangent, but that is my morning encouragement, inspiration. Happiness and tears do go together. Happiness is a momentary feeling. Contentment is a state of being. I'm a naturally content person. I'm happy. That doesn't mean everything has gone my way. I'm a divorcee. I gave up my house in the divorce. Listen, I had a failed business that took about $250,000 of my assets. Listen, we've all been through it, but we're still here because money doesn't define me. A marriage doesn't define me. I am who I am. And my job is to inspire you to say whatever you've been through doesn't define who you are. You define who you are. And then you should always be showing up, encouraging. So when my daughter looks back and said, my mother was a strong woman. She was inspiring. That's all I want. I don't want a tombstone. I don't want, I tell people, even now, if I die, what do they call that? Memorial service. I don't need one of that. One of those. You don't need to be talking about me. Let's talk right now. Because when I just go kick the bucket, that's it, and somebody else will rise up. You're not that important, sis. I am not that important. God always has a ram in the bush. There's always someone coming after you that's going to be better than you, smarter than you, prettier than you. Did you know that? Or you're walking on like you're all that. You're not, sis. One little illness will knock you off your throne wherever you're standing yourself up. I know. I live every day watching people kick the bucket. Young people. Why would a 23-year-old develop cancer? I don't understand that. So that means you just kind of been given a chance that your turn's coming in one way or another, in one form or another. So whatever you've gone through, yes, own it. Let's get back up. You got to wait for the next wave or the next thing to come and hit you upside the head. Are you going to remain standing? It starts here. You got to make that decision. All right. But you know, the smile comes back because it's like, yep, I had a moment, and then we get back at it. So today we're going to make a yummy quinoa and kale salad, and I've already been working on some things. I cooked the chickpeas. I'm gonna put the chickpeas in the oven, and I always use chickpeas like croutons. I don't use bread. You know, I don't eat bread. But then I have some squash. We're gonna add squash. So we're gonna roast the squash. You know, that'll take a long time. And I have some cauliflower, so we're going to use a little bit of the cauliflower. I'm even afraid to touch it because it's so pretty. Look how pretty it looks. So we're not doing peppers in this salad today, but I decided I want to do cauliflower and carrots. So I'm going to toss them in the pan on the stove. And then it's the mixing all together. I have some black beans. You can't find kale? Oh, well, you have Swiss chard. You can do Swiss chard. But kale is one of these that we can find here in Panama. What we don't have available are collards. Collards are not abundant in Panama. I haven't seen them in the store. But I know that there's a place in Chiriquí, you can order it if you're in Panama, and they'll mail it to you, right? Yeah, we have not even 1 month, because you don't know that. Okay, so I did buy a can of black beans, because last time I cooked the black beans, it took like 4 hours to cook. And I'm like, I'm just not that patient of a person. So we're gonna use a little bit of that and rinse it real good and put it in our salad. So that's gonna be good. I don't do anything with it. Yeah, I'll just toss it in with some of the veggies I'm putting on the stove. And I have the zucchini. We're gonna do the same thing with the zucchini, the carrots, and the cauliflower. Yeah, because I still want them to be a bit crude, right? Crudité means crude. All right. So I was telling in the very beginning that a part of my tripod broke this morning, and I was like, oh my God. And then there was another little contraption, and I'm like, can this work? And it is working. So I'm just very grateful. All right, so it's still right here. What are we gonna do? Yep. This crazy life. I just didn't see. Does that make any difference? No. Okay, good. So we're gonna put the, where is? The chickpeas. So for our chickpeas, you know, I was thinking of making herb oil this morning, but I didn't get to it. So let's season the chickpeas. But they have to really be crispy. They can't be soft, right? Because they're going to be croutons. Those were soaked overnight with the garlic and bay leaves. Ooh, let me tell you, I love this little thing because I like the way the grinder works. Okay, so that has a little bit of salt, but just a little bit. So what we're gonna do with our salad too, you might think it's fun because we're going to make a bed of potatoes and sit my salad in there. And I usually like to do two ways of plating the salad. So this is dry thyme, and of course oregano is always a star in my kitchen. I just love that spice. And for this, we also gonna put cumin and the adobo just a little bit. I need to find me another brand. I don't want to be using Goya. Cinnamon, go up there so I don't put you in my food accidentally. This is paprika, curry powder, yes, because I'm looking for that orangey color. I was surprised they had curry powder, but you know, lots of Jamaican influence. All right, let me move the fan a little bit, just a second. Ooh. Ooh. As soon as you turn the oven on, it's like warm. All right, a little bit of cumin. These should become second nature, you know, something that you put into your food without thinking. And this is the star, some turmeric. All right, so we're definitely looking for golden. Okay, so what else do I have in here? Oregano, yeah, a little bit of perejil, parsley, yes, and finas hierbas, fine herbs, which is an herb mix. All right, let's see. I want to put like some flakes, some red pepper flakes, just for me. You don't have to put that, but it's because I like a little bit of heat. All right, so oh, we need more color. Yep. Oh yeah. So take the time to season your food. All right. So I'm gonna put that in here. All right. Then let us cut up the squash. Okay. So I need a knife that is strong. And then I need this one. 2 knives. This is from my delivery. I don't want a lot because this is a salad. Ooh, it looks a little better today. A little better. So we have a soccer game coming on Wednesday here in Panama. Panama and Ghana, that should be a good one. The Knicks in New York, ooh my God. I know my brother is in the thick of it. He lives in Holland, so. It's like losing their minds over there. So we're gonna do that in there, and then we're gonna work on the potatoes. And then we're gonna do the quinoa. Quinoa gonna take 15-20 minutes. And while the quinoa is cooking, we're gonna do the vegetables on the top. and then bring everything together. Yes. Woo. So I cooked some of that fish that I told you about yesterday in that live. I was in between Spanish class and then a live. I did a free Spanish class yesterday. And the people who were like, oh yeah, I think it would be lovely. And you know what? We had 2 people in class. But they got all the attention, they got all the information. I did a PowerPoint, so I sent them the PowerPoint and then also the recording. So, you know, whet their appetite. And we talked about the difficulties of, you know, learning a language and how you need to be dedicated. All right, it's a salad, so we don't want too big. The pieces can't be too big, right? And still, the squash is just not to the color that I want. It's too pale. But hey, it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. But it is soccer fever. You know, I don't follow basketball anymore because, you know, the boys, my boys used to be basketball they knew all the stats about all the players. And, you know, here in Panama, I think when I'm watching the novelas in the evening, and after each novela, in between the next episode, they'll have this guy who is the sports, you know, person here in Panama, and they have this program where they do like a trivia type thing, and then asking these people about stats and names of players. I'm usually amazed how much they know. They know their names. They know what do we call them in the U.S.? We said in the teams, the coach, right? We said the coach or the manager. Here they call them technical director or something like that in Espanol. And it was amazing, you know. They knew the names of the coaches, and not just from Panama. They knew the names of everybody. I'm like, woo. Now, I am not like that. I'm not a sports fan like that. I enjoy watching certain. Actually, I have to say, soccer is probably the only sport that I like. I don't watch tennis. I get bored. It's just too long. Baseball, I've never understood. I don't know when they're running what it means. So I don't watch. All right. I think we just did. That's just about right. Like Goldilocks would say, it's just right. Remember Goldilocks? I used to read books to my kids a lot when they were little. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And then another, remember Goodnight Moon? Oh, I remember. I love that little book. I love that. We don't have colors either. Oh. All right, mi tía, ¿cómo estás? Yes. And maybe you know, mi tía, I said for the color beans, there is a farm in Chiriquí province that will ship them here. And this sister said, I said, how much was the shipping? She said like $10 from Chiriquí to Panama. If you want it and you're craving it, sure. But I'm not, I was never, you know, a color fan, so I'm not missing it. So that is not a concern for me. All right, so let's do the same thing with the squash, a little olive oil. And, you know, I season everything. I mean, you're not gonna find anything. And I cooked some beets. I got up at 8 and I put them in the oven, so they're cooling in the fridge because they take a long time to cook. So if you're gonna cook beets, make sure you plan for it. If you boil it on the stove, I feel like I'm losing whenever I see the water being red. I feel like I'm losing something. So I prefer to roast my beets, and I don't juice, so I don't, I don't eat it raw because I don't want to get rid of the pulp. I want the pulp. The pulp is what's gonna trap all these fat in your system. So when you juice and then you have to, what do you do with the pulp? That's a no-bueno for me. I don't do that. All right. I think that's enough herbs. But with this one, I don't want color in it. I don't want to put anything that's going to change the color. I want it to be naturally in its. This is some cumin, and this is no paprika, remember. And ooh. And then in a salad like this, ladies, you can put whatever you want in it. If you like broccoli, spinach, the idea is to give you all the nutrients, all the things that you need to be healthy. All right? Let's see, pepper. I love pepper. A little bit of salt, sea salt, un poquitito. So we're gonna put that in. That's gonna cook like in 10 minutes. It does not take long, which is fine because I want things to kind of cool off a little bit. All right. Woo. Getting my steam. All right, now let's see. Let's put the quinoa. What I need to do in the meantime is to soak the kale so that we can get rid of any impurities. Now, I don't know if I told you, I am not really a kale person. I don't crave it. I don't like the way it tastes. I'd rather have arugula and watercress. But some, kale has gotten a lot of press because of the veganism and all that. But it's a good green, absolutely. I just don't particularly care for it. All right. So we're gonna put our water in here. This is my rescue thing. I don't want to mess it up too much. We are 1 moment away from death. Yes. So we're gonna turn this again. Olive oil and a little salt. That's all we need for the quinoa. And quinoa is one of the easiest things to cook, right? And salt. But what I saw also, you could put have some green onions that are kind of going bad. I'm going to throw it in there just to give it a little flavor. And the green beans here in Panama are very different from what I'm used to. Look at how tiny they are. So let us get a few, clean them up, and then throw it in there. Maybe a couple with the stem, if this doesn't look too bad. Woo. Because remember, with all these, it's all about flavor. You're trying to build flavor in your food. Just like you might see some Jamaicans throw some green onions, in the pan when they're cooking rice. Yep, that's the idea. All right. So what I decided to do, because we have black beans, so we are going to use white quinoa and red quinoa, because again, you're thinking of contrast. So I did buy some black quinoa, but black quinoa I would use with like chickpeas or some edamame, just again to contrast, right? Okay, so we're gonna get the quinoa ready. Put that back. So that's it. Yesterday I had the fish, and then I had some avocado, and I do have some leftover avocados, and I'm thinking when I'm plating, I might just add a couple of slices of avocado on top. And the other thing that I want to do, I don't know if I can, since I don't fry anything, sometime at the cafe, I used to make fried onions, and I top like a burger with it, which is really good. So I have some red onions, so we're gonna try to see if we can do that as a topping, right? Yes. This is what I was talking about. You know, I cried earlier, but then I get in the kitchen and I start cooking, and all my good hormones are on point. So don't cry for me, Argentina. All right, so, oh, I wish I were in Peru. I could have a big old thing of quinoa, but I'm not. You know, Peru in 2023, there's a restaurant in Lima that was voted the best restaurant in the world. Well, they said yesterday, Forbes magazine, which I don't know why Forbes is giving anybody any reviews, right? Because culinary reviews and stuff are given by specific organizations who are into, you know, cuisines and stuff. But I think they said, which country was it? It wasn't just Colombia. I forgot. They found 2 other countries that they said, oh, they have good food too. Panama was not one of them, because you know Panama is a fusion of Caribbean and Spanish and everybody else. So, you know, when you say Mexican, it's Mexican, right? But when you say Panamanian, it's like, which one is it really? It is what it is. All right, so let's put some of that in here. Ooh, those grains are so beautiful. Where's the white one? Oh. So this could be like close to $4. Is it a pound? Yeah, 1 pound. And then the red is always more expensive. Greta, do they use quinoa in Mexico? I mean, in Peru, it's abundant. I mean, they grow it there. So, ooh, it smells good. Quick rinse. Remember, when you cook quinoa, it is not the 2-to-1 ratio. You don't need as much liquid as you did for like a regular rice, okay? Keep that in mind, because otherwise your quinoa is gonna be really pasty, and that's a no bueno. So let's say 1.5 cups of water or liquid per 1 cup of grain, all right? Because quinoa is one of those grains that you kind of have to know how to cook, and some people end up struggling. In the beginning, I struggled. It wouldn't come out right, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? until I mastered it. So that's what you do. You just kind of do something over and over until you get it, okay? And that's why cooking, if you're retired, you could say, I'm going to take up cooking and really become a fairly good cook. That could be something to look forward to, because as you're retired, you need new goals and then whatever you want to do doesn't all have to be with making money. All right. Yeah, I have to get a bunch of these because I'm always, using them to close a bag or something that I used. Ooh. Put this down. Ah. Ooh. All right, so we're going to cover the quinoa. Once I do that, I put them in my fridge because I don't want any little critters to get into them. All right, so now I'm going to toss my veggie, but before I do that, let's put the kale in the bath. So I don't know where that kale has been. And don't say you trust it because it's in a bag. Okay? Because you cannot trust. And all the chemical they spray on these things. And then you want small pieces, of course, so rip them up with your hand. I'm looking at the quinoa, making sure I didn't put too much water. I may have to add a little bit more quinoa in there. And of course, I'm saving these for my stock. I might have to add a little bit more quinoa in there because I didn't measure. I eyeball. I think we need maybe more white in there. A little bit more white quinoa. Is that enough, or do I need to put more? Because we're not cooking this. We want them to hold their shape in the salad. So this is not going to be, I think that's good. Yes. All right. I think we got it, right? So now I got to think of what I'm going to do with the rest of it. So I'm going to have to, I have fish, so I can always cook that. All right. Let us kind of flip another flip. We're going to add back a little bit more white quinoa in here. So when you're cooking, you gotta have your eye everywhere. So I added a little bit more in here just to make sure it doesn't come out pasty. You see that green onion did wonders. It helped the taste. So a little bit more salt. Okay, so we're gonna soak this in with vinegar. And I like to put a little baking soda in my bath. So when you have veggies that you buy from the store, always take your time and clean them up first. So water, and don't let it sit there. All right, 5-10 minutes. All right, yep, that works. So you can always fix whatever you do, but you gotta have your eye on it, right? So you don't forget. Because I don't want my squash to be overcooked. It's gotta hold itself. So, over here. I think the chickpeas are good too. All right. Put that there too. Okay, the quinoa just about done. So I don't think I need anything else in the oven. That's gonna help the heat. All right. Ooh, it tastes so good. These are the beets that cooked earlier, so we'll peel them in a second. In the meantime, I'm gonna turn this down. We're getting ready to cover the quinoa. Look at this beauty. That's what you want. You want the grains to be full. And then once you lower the heat, they're going to pop open, which is what you want. But because I want them to be kind of dry and separated, I'm gonna let like most of the water cook down. All right, so here we're gonna turn this on. We're gonna drain our peas in a second. So now, ooh, I forgot the potatoes. Oh, we can forget the potatoes. Let's wait. Oh, we gotta do the potatoes. Ah, and the potatoes, I'm gonna use this that I got from the stove. Now it's really hot. I gotta be careful that I don't touch it, or I'm gonna have a brown spot on my arm. Okay, this is good. Where's the cover? Where's the cover? There we go. All right. So it's all dried up. We're gonna cover it and turn this down to like 3. All right. So this is gonna be about 10 minutes. The potatoes. How could I forget my potatoes? So with this one, I have to be careful because I want the potatoes to be thin, but I want them separated so that I can stack them up on my plate. All right, now remember, this is super hot. I had so many burn marks on my arm when I worked at Disney. That was not funny. And not pretty. This is the part of cooking that I enjoy, the creative process, you know, and how I come up with these ideas, because, you know, that's the thing with cooking. No one can tell you you can't do something. You get to do whatever you want, you put things together the way you want. I need another peeler. And of course, I'm trying to not eat a lot of carbs, but in thinking of the salad, I'm like, I don't want to plate my salad like everybody else. You know that. We don't do that. We got to be different. So I think maybe 2. I don't even think I need the 3. So that's a lot of starch. The only starch I don't mind eating, and I still have to watch, is my squash and my plantains. Ooh, plantain. I've stayed away for a little while. I haven't had the my fried fish. Ooh, I'm gonna do it with my nails with plantain. For the first time in a long time, I went and had my nails done. And this lady said, because my nails were too long, I wanted her to cut them. And she's like, do you want to use this type of nail polish or that one? She said, that one would last longer. So I said, well, let's try it. It's been 2 weeks. And I had to do something to this one, but I'm like, oh, because I usually don't put polish on my nails because I'm in the water too much, I'm in the kitchen, and they never last. And I'm not gelling anything, I'm not doing the gel. I did that one time and I said I will never do that again. It made my nails so weak. They were like, you know, breaking in the middle, and then it's painful, and I'm like, oh, no mas. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, let's look at these 2 potatoes. Let me use my serrated knife and see if it's going to give it like a little shape. Now I could use that thing that you do that, but I like to do it myself. No, it didn't matter. Okay. Oh yes, it's working. So good. This is why I say you're the scientist in your lab. You are creating something. But if you have one of these machines that goes shredder, go ahead. Like me, I'm kind of lazy. So I'm going to put them side by side because I want to be able to take them off. And they have to be perfect. If it comes off okay, I'm not going to use it. Oh yes. Okay. These, you can fry, you can put them in like in eggs and stuff, so I'm just going to keep that. Hello, Cynthia. Hey, Cynthia, how are you? We were talking this week. So, you know, when you are living in a time where there's a lot of bad news, you need to find something to distract you. For me, it is cooking. And I like teaching my Spanish classes too. They keep my brain going. Like yesterday, I was talking to these 2 ladies who took the online class. I mean, they were very interested, and it kind of made me feel good. All right, so, ooh, nice. Mira qué belleza. The rest of them, I'm going to put them in a little vinegar so they don't brown out, and then I'm going to cook them and leave them there so that when I'm cooking my eggs or whatever, I can just throw them in there. Mira. Mira esto. Oh. Have another one? Yep, one más, uno más. That's it. All right. Oh. So I did not need to use all 3, thank God. Solamente 2 papas. That's what you call potatoes, papas. Papas fritas, French fries. Did you know that? Papas fritas, okay. Little vinegar. If you don't put the vinegar or lime juice, they're gonna brown. And that's no bueno. Alright. I think the timing is just right for us here. So we're gonna have to put these in the fridge. In the oven. In the oven. Now, if I had herb oil, that would have been the only thing I need. I haven't made herb oil in a while. What's happening, Maggie? Oh. And I already got me another one. You know, if you buy extra virgin olive oil, you know you're gonna pay for it. I think this was like $25. But that is one of the healthy oils, right? Because if you don't use oil, okay. But if you use oil, make sure you use good oil. None of the seeds, they're telling us now. Who knew? Here they use a lot of soy, and they use a lot of sunflower. In addition to the vegetable oil. Remember when you were growing up and they said mazola? I remember mazola. Mazola was supposed to be this really good oil for you. Woo, look at that. I love this. Not paprika. I don't want the red. No red allowed. Just some herbs. Actually, I don't think we need to do a lot with these potatoes. Salt and pepper should be good. Yeah, I don't want too much herb because I don't want the color of the potatoes to change. Right? So just a little bit. Did I put salt? I think so. All right. So let's put that in. Okie dokie. So give that about 10 minutes and it will be done. All right. So back to the veggies, and this is not gonna take any time because I don't want a lot. I don't want them to cook, right? Ooh. All right, this is done. Poquitito. You know, they say when they extract the oil from the olives, the first pass is the extra virgin. Then I don't know what else they do to it because that's the purest, right? Chives, yeah, chives are good. I think I have some. But chives go really well with potatoes, you know that. I made mashed potatoes at the last party, and I put chives in it. Okay, so here I need onion and garlic. Those chickpeas are the bomb. Okay. You know, they've made so many songs for the football team here in Panama, and I'm humming because that's all you hear. Panama, yes. Now remember, we have to make a quick dressing because it's one of those salads. It needs a nice amount of dressings. And I was saying yesterday that another thing I think would be really good in the dressing that I make is anchovies. But I didn't have time to go back to the store to get it. If you don't like it, don't put it in there. But anchovies are already in some of your salad dressing because it's that good. All right, so that's that. Now let's get some garlic. El ajo. And I like jalapeno too. Oh, I love jalapeno. We don't need a whole lot for these veggies. Yep, that should be it. And like I told you before, don't be tempted to buy those peeled garlic in a jar. They don't taste the same, okay? And don't buy them already crushed and in a paste. Not the same. I'm just telling you. But if you want to do it, listen, sis, you know I'm not going to tell you not to do what you want to do. I say, está bien, a la orden. You do whatever you want to do. But I know me, what I do, and a lot of it is from experience. Remember, I'm old, so I've been cooking for a while. And you don't become a good cook overnight. It takes time and practice, and you learn some tricks of the trade. You say, oh, don't do it like that. No, sis, it doesn't work. But if you're one of those people, you don't take advice from anybody, adelante. I don't get upset with people over minor stuff anymore. So it's like, okay. And I'm moving on. Okay? Ooh, where is my... So I'm going to put the carrot first. And again, it's just, I'm trying to think of color and contrast. Last week I did the salad. I don't know if you guys noticed. I cooked the okra and I cooked the potatoes. Oh, really nice potatoes. And I put them to cool in the fridge and I did not put them in the salad. I went back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot. Then I had to take another set of pictures. Oh, things happen. Especially when you are cooking live, right? But you're my family, so if I make a mistake, I'm like, oops. Please forgive your sis who hasn't made a mistake in the past about anything, right? C'est la vie. And I'm thinking of making my next video. The videos have not been getting a lot of views. And you know, like I said, I don't sweat it. Because I am not going to stress myself over things that I cannot change. The serenity prayer, remember? All right, so let's think about size. So that's good. Goes in a salad. Because again, everything in scale, right? So if I'm making a salad, then I don't want to do julienne. You know, if I have like greens, yes, julienne would be good with peppers. Okay? Only one carrot. And I like the carrot to be a little bit, you know, this one's big. have one loose zucchini. But can I find it? No. Alright, we're going to do the same thing with the zucchini that I just washed. Oops. And same thing. Same principle, right? So how can that not be good for you, huh? And then the next one is the cauliflower, and then we'll be done. Remember, I don't want them to cook. I just want them to toast here a little bit. Because you want them to feel a little cool. Alright? Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to open my little cauliflower. My beautiful cauliflower. So these are gonna go again in my stock. Don't throw them away. Ooh, look at that. I knew that was a beauty. I knew it. Wow. Usually this at Rebus Smith is like $11. And I always say, oh, that's okay. I don't need it. If it's that expensive. So I'm going to save the rest. And of course, you know, cauliflower is not going to last too long. So I'm going to have to think of something real quick on how to add it to my food during the week. Yes. And I guess we're going to have to rinse this. I don't know where this thing's been. So we're going to shoot for this size. That's where you go do it. This is how we do it. Now this one, I'm going to break. Yep. Ooh, I can smell the quinoa. The quinoa is like, I'm ready. I'm ready, mommy. Because remember, even if you're cooking for yourself, you can say, oh, why do I go to all this trouble of making everything look good? That's practice for you, sis. It's practice. You don't have to be in a restaurant to want your food when you plate it to make it look good. And take a picture, and then you remember your handiwork. Yeah, it's just me. I'm eating my food. But when I look at it and I feel good, it tastes good, let me tell you, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. All right, so we got our cauliflower. You get a quick rinse. All right. Potatoes are looking good. Oh, yeah. Nice. And then we just lightly, look how pretty that is. You lightly season. Now this is gonna need a splash of lemon juice, okay? Or limon. One sister, she hasn't been here that long, but she figured that they call everything limon. Limones here in Panama, whether you're lime, lemons, or sour orange. Everything is limon. Now, sour orange, the only time I use it is when I'm brining a turkey, which, you know, I haven't done in a while. I don't have a pan big enough to brine a turkey, and I don't eat turkey, even though I've been kind of craving some turkey wings. When I came here, I started craving a turkey leg. Oh my God, I looked everywhere. Couldn't find a turkey leg. Nope. All right. A little bit of herb, definitely in here. Salt, pepper, yes. Some thyme. And I don't want to use fresh thyme because I don't want to have like a fresh bite in my salad. That would be a no bueno. I'm putting herb de Provence. Yes. You know, herb de Provence is my, you know, backup. I don't like to use it too much. Lemon. Yes. Lemon. Okay. I think we're good. I don't think we need to do anything else to it. Yeah. Woo. Muy bien. So we're just going to put it to the side and let it cool off a little bit. And I know what I'm going to do. I'll just go ahead and put it in my salad jar. So by the time we're finishing up, it's going to cool off. Ooh. Yes, 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 yes. And you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to take the quinoa and put some of it in the fridge because it needs to cool off. So this is going to go, maybe just put it over here and let it cool off. If I had spot in the fridge, ooh, I don't. Okay. For one person, my fridge is just too full. I'm just going to say. Oh. Okay, so look at your quinoa. Grainy, it's not pasty. That's what I wanted, right? You don't want your quinoa to be like sticky rice. That would be a no bueno, right? See? Okay. So let me taste. Yeah, okay. Now this I'm gonna put in the fridge. I'm gonna put all of it because I don't want to keep it here and then I'm gonna start to think about, oh my gosh, that's a lot. But I have a big dish. And of course, you know, I'm gonna be eating salad today, tomorrow, and maybe the next day. Maybe the next day. All right, so let's put that in the fridge, let it cool off. Actually, I'm putting it in the freezer. Whew. All right, this can go. Now the last thing I'm gonna try to do is that red onion that I'm gonna try to kind of sort of fry as a garnish. I do have the avocado. I have leftover avocado. Okay, put that away. Now, I had this leftover avocado, but if it's not pretty enough, I have another one. Remember, I get 3 of those with my order when I order, so I'm gonna eat that myself. But for the onions. I'm gonna put it on full and see if we're gonna cook down in this oil. And then whatever is left, I'm going to put in the jar. So here is, and then with the onion, I want range. So I'm not gonna cut this, you know, in the middle, because you want, see, you gotta think. What do you want? Shape matters in food. Food plating, I should say. Because plating was a very big part of my schooling. You did not just bring your food all kind of ways. You always try to have some elevation, and then you have to have variety in colors, and the colors kind of have to match. You know, you don't want to just throw things together without thinking. Even though it's gonna go in there in your belly all together, I know. But humor me. Alright, so this is gonna be really thin. So this would be one of those, if you had one of those little contraptions to really slice it thin for you, you go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna use all of it, I don't need all of it. This is just for garnish. Alright? And you're looking for the rings. So you want to open them up. This is just going to be a garnish. Alright. So I'll put those back. And think about plating. So now we're gonna go find the kale that has been soaking. I do have my some leftover cherry tomatoes that we're gonna put in there. I'm trying to think at the restaurant, I just dump them in the frying oil, but we're not doing that here. But this is kind of sorta, right? All right. Ooh. My oil would fall. Ooh, that would be such a mess. Okay, where is my? All right. This is my dressing jar. We've got some leftover dressing, and we're gonna make some more. Olive oil, lime juice. Gonna need a lot more. You know, I don't have one of those limer things. What? I think I threw it away. I was so unhappy with it. I threw it away. You know what I looked for also? Not just the lemon. You can't find, you know, yellow lemons here. It's like a hit or miss. Well, like almost everything here. Now you see it, now you don't. But I do have leftover okra, if you can believe that. I found okra twice. Woo. All right. We're gonna have to do some surgery here with this lime juice. I don't have a squeezer. Is that what you call them? The juicer, I guess you could say. And it took me a long time to find some nice limes. Because for some reason, they're not abundant right now. Oh, I was gonna say, I could not find red wine vinegar. Lots of apple cider, but not red wine. I can't even ask someone to bring me some because you can't carry that. So I just use apple cider. All right, I think we need another one. Yeah, almost there. Now this is a little bit of garlic from cooking the chickpeas, so I'm gonna put it in my salad. Yes. And then I'm gonna take off some of the onions. I don't want them to burn. You gotta have your eye everywhere. And of course they're kind of limp, but if you put them in an oil, they're gonna crisp up. But you do what you can with what you have. Right? Crispy. Oh, I know one thing I could have done to make them crispy is to toss them in a little bit of cornstarch or flour. Trying to extract the juices from these lemons. They're just kind of rough. But I think ooh, look at that. You see, that's why you roll them. You take your time and roll the lemon. Yes. Ooh. Very good. Get a little bit more. All right, turn this off. The potatoes are good too. Can't forget my potatoes. Mira esta belleza. Ooh, ouch. I'm talking mega hot. Ooh. All right, so this is good. Drain. Yes, drain, drain, drain. Now, I can't use this oil in my dressing. That would have been nice if it was cool, but it's not cool, so. Well, we got our garnish. Yes, 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 yes. Now, you know you could do caramelized onion. You just cook the onion, but you don't cook it this hot. You cook it nice and slow. And then you get that almost gel-like. And you put it in your, if you into sandwiches, oh, yummy. I was thinking the other day, I haven't had a sandwich in God knows how long. All right, let's squeeze the rest of that lime. Ooh, nice. You see how easy it juiced this time? Ooh. Muy bien. I think last time I made this dressing, I forgot to put some garlic in there. So we have that. And then I only have apple cider vinegar. So we're gonna put some of that. I put this in my smoothies too, you know that, right? So I had a little bit of garlic that was cooked in the chickpeas. So I'm gonna put that in the dressing. I think I'm gonna put a bit more garlic. So it is olive oil, lemon juice or lime juice, apple cider vinegar. If you don't have it, I'm using, red wine vinegar. If you don't have it, you use the apple cider. Where is the one with mine? This guy. was looking for the garlic. El ajo. Onions are cebollas. Somebody would say, oh my God, that takes too long. I'd rather just do lettuce and tomatoes. Okay. Okay, sis, you're not going to get any response from me if you say that, because you cannot rush perfection. And because cooking is an art, it is therapy for me, I don't want to rush it. Because the more I spend time doing this, the more my brain reshapes itself and the good hormones flow. And that's going to elevate my mood. That keeps me from being in the funk. Even after I had that moment earlier where we shared and we cried, and then we get up again, we brush ourselves, and we keep on going. This is therapy. This is called self-care right here. All right, sis? So don't be in a rush to do everything. Why are you rushing? Why? All right, fresh garlic. I'm not putting any fresh herb. Again, I don't want to bite on a piece of thyme or something. All right, so now we're going to do salt and pepper. Remember the other day I was doing this and I had the top on and the and the pepper wasn't coming out. I was like, what is going on? I had the cap on, so I took the cap off. Now, I love pepper, so you may not want to put so much in there for you if you don't like pepper, but I do. And usually the dressing needs a nice amount of salt because all that acidity. So now you're going to put dry herbs. Whatever you have, just throw it in there. This is herbe de Provence. Yes. And as I always say, when you're making any of these Mediterranean salad, you want to try to get some fresh mint. I forgot the fresh mint. But this is oregano, yes, always a generous amount. And I have dried thyme, yes, dried thyme. And if you ask me how much, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. If you're into the measuring the teaspoons and stuff, we're not going to be friends because I don't do that. Finas hierbas, fine herbs, and parsley. I don't think I want to put anything else in there. Sage goes with meat, so you don't want to put that in your salad. Marjoram, yes, I can put a bit of marjoram. I have a little bit left. I need to buy some more. Marjoram is good. If you had tarragon, you could do that. But I don't buy that. Not because, you know, I don't like it. I just have never done it. And then you shake before you add your mustard. Ooh. You see, as soon as you start shaking it, it turns into this thick. It's the oil and the vinegar. They just work so well together. You forgot to let us taste before you place it in the fridge. Hass avocado, yes, I think we have a few here, but they're not that popular. And who wants to go after Hass when we have these beauties here? No. All right, so let me taste it, and then we're gonna add the mustard. Ooh, it's good. All right, so mustard. This is Dijon. And I like the grainy, grainy. And that's it. part. Lord, please tell me I didn't forget something. Woo. So if you have that and leave it in your fridge and just sprinkle, a little bit on your salad. You don't need to go buy, I even forgot what the brands used to be that I used to buy. Italian. Oh my God. My goodness. This is gold. Alright. Okay, you guys didn't tell me I haven't rinsed my black beans yet. Oh, it tastes so good. It's like deep and profound. Okay. Because I go there to get this and it's like, oh, Goya. And I am not buying Goya, but I need to find me another brand of, adobo. If it does be adobo, I don't know, but. Alright, let's see. This is not Negros. This thing doesn't even look black. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. This is what they call black beans. You see why I don't buy stuff in the can? This is not black. So if it was black, what'd you do to change the color? You see? Okay. So that means no more will I ever buy this brand. Oh, what's the brand again? Let me show you. I'm trying not to use the Goya brand, but this is a no bueno. Frijoles negros enteros. La costeña. It's not black bean. All right. So while this is getting rid of its little last bit of liquid, let it sit here for a second. We have our garnish. We have that. Our potatoes should be ready to come off the foil, and I have to be real gentle so they don't break. Ooh. Okay. What are you doing? Okay, this is the challenge with the potatoes. They stick to the foil. What's the matter with you? But in order for me to get them, to put them on my plate, I need to take them off. It's like when you're cooking plantain. When I cook plantain, when you take it off out of the oven, you have to let it sit out so it doesn't stick so much. But even then, it still sticks. Right? Oh, vamos. That's crazy. Okay, so we have 1, 2. Okay, so I figured out how to get them to unstick. Now you see? That's why you call yourself a professor. When you're in the kitchen, you gotta use all your knowledge. It's like a nurse, as a nurse, you have your clinical skills, but one thing we always try to get our young nurses to develop is critical thinking. When you get, to stump one and it's like, okay, what else can I do? You start going around your mind. That's critical thinking. You look at a patient, you say, oh, he doesn't look good. And you say, okay, blood pressure is good, this is good, this is good. What else could be going on? Those are the nurses you want to take care of you, right? Because sometimes it's not textbook. You have to play Inspector Gadget to figure out what is wrong with someone. And especially in this day and age, if I had a patient, I think most of the thing I'd be looking at is like, what is the home situation? What's happening at home that could affect this person's health? Because a lot of times that's what it is. It's just a stress. People don't know how to manage it. And if it's unmanaged, trust me, it will affect your body. It will. And many of us, most of us, you know where we come from. So we just kind of stress induced. We have all kinds of things, diabetes, hypertension, and sleeplessness, anxiety, depression. Whew. Lord Jesus, help us. All right, so I gotta make sure I'm not feeding myself aluminum. And I know one sister said, use parchment paper. All right. Let's see, what else can I salvage? Okay. I think we're good. We're gonna have enough to set our salad in. All right, so we're good here. Let's put that over there. The one thing I didn't do yet is my beets. It's not gonna take long. You see, that's why I like beets roasted. I prefer them roasted. A little bit of oil, salt and pepper, that's it. That's all you put. And you put them in the oven. And then you see how they come out nice and red, so you haven't lost all the juices that you would if you were to boil it. And remember, colors in vegetable is super important. So you don't want to boil something until there's nothing left. No bueno. I absolutely love beets. And I heard this person yesterday say they do all kinds of good things. So like you would do one apple a day, just one beet a day. And that's supposed to be good for you. Well, I grew up eating beets, so that is not a problem for me. But of course, my mother used to make me eat brains too. Not now. You can't get me to eat that. Oh, and they say chicken feet. It's so good. Collagen. I'm like, I don't know. The other day I was cooking the chicken for the party, and they give you the whole thing. And in the trash went those chicken legs. I'm not eating that. I remember being in South Africa. I went to a store. They had a case full of chicken wings, and I was standing there looking. And this lady came. She's like, "Why are you looking at it like that?" I said, "I've never seen that many chicken feet." She said, "Do you know how to cook it?" I'm like, "No, ma'am." I said, "I don't like it." She said, "Oh, it's because you don't know how to cook it." I said, "Okay, I'll take your word for it." This is the same place in South Africa. I was in a store, and I think my skirt had run up a little bit, and this older lady came, and she just came, made a beeline for me, grabbed that skirt, and turned it down. Didn't say a word to me. Somebody can just touch your body like that. Yep. And then I was telling some of my people that, they said, yeah. They say the grannies make it their business to teach you how to do the right thing. And then you say, "Thank you, ma." Okay. I wasn't upset about that. I was just surprised, because you're thinking of your person. Can somebody, a stranger, come and just touch your body like that? Oh yeah, they do in South Africa. That's why I talk about cultural competence. So before you get all upset, find out if it's the norm, right? Like I said here, when I first came to Panama, I thought that, greeting people was very important, and now I'm seeing less and less people greeting me as a person, so I don't know. I don't know what's changed, but some things have changed. I'm cutting it in my hand because I don't want to put it on my board and discolor my board. That would be a no bueno. And then I'm using all my my beets because I love beets. Okay? Now, if you have a very sharp knife, be careful. Ooh. Muy bien. Ah, okay. There we go. We're good. So now, we are putting it together. Let me make room. And the tail. Ooh. Okay. So we got our kale. Yes. All right. So the kale is here. I'm going to try to dry it. All right. Okay. So let's put things together. This is what we would call mise en place. That you got all your stuff, and now you're just going to put it together. So this is our veggies that we did. We're gonna put the beets in there, the beans, call itself fake black beans, I'm gonna call it. The fake black beans. All right. The quinoa. Make sure we take those out. Remember, look how pretty that quinoa looks. Oh yeah. Okay. What else do we need to add? The kale. Okay. Squash. I'm gonna add the chickpeas last. Right? And oh, and the tomatoes. Because remember, you're looking for contrast. Well, this one I always need like a steak knife, a knife with teeth, and put them in. I wonder if they have a game today. They must. Yeah, the game that there's going to have a block party on Wednesday for that game against Ghana here. So they're having watch parties everywhere in the city and beyond. I'm not putting the avocados in here because too much movement, it's going to mess it up in there. So you just put it as a garnish on top. That way it doesn't get lost in the salad. And then we're going to give it a good amount of, because there's a lot of acid in my dressing, so I am not going to add more acid. I'm using all the tomatoes because I don't want to leave any. I love cherry tomatoes, but I eat them sparingly, right? Because they tend to aggravate if you have arthritis. So if you have arthritis that's flaring up, try to go easy on your tomato product. I told somebody that one time, she's like, really? I never heard of that. I said, yeah, ask your doctor. There is something, there's a compound in tomatoes, even though it's full of good stuff, right? But it's just that if you have a certain illness, then, all right. I think I put everything in here. Oh, you know one thing? I think I forgot. Let me do it in here in another pan. I have some almonds that I have been saving because the almond is going to give you a little bit of a crunch. And I bought some slivered almonds. Yep, that much. But what I was thinking though is if I had thought about it, I would have used pecans instead. Caramelized pecans that you cook with some brown sugar. Oof, that would be so good. All right, let's put the dressing in. Bring the dressing in. Ooh-wee. Generous amount, yes? We don't want to swim in it, but you want to coat every part of the salad. Look at this belleza. Ooh. Now, if you like meat and you have like some chicken wings or chicken breast next to this beauty, you are good. You are good. But I'm not doing that today. Oino. Okay. All right. So let's put our chickpeas in as the croutons, but because I love chickpeas, so I'm gonna put all of it in. Ooh wee. Si senor. I love chickpeas. I love hummus. Anything chickpeas, I love. Look at this beauty. And you just want to toast it lightly, right? I think the balance of the green, of the kale, and everything else is just right. Because it is a kale salad, right? We just added the rest of it. I mean, in my case, it's to kind of bury, you know, the tart taste or something like that, because I'm not a kale fan. But I know it's good for me, so I will eat it. Let me have a taste. Okay, this is good. Because we don't want it to burn. Did you say brains? Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah. Because my mother, in those days, brains make you smart. I know, looking at it now, it doesn't sound very bright on your part, but you know, I have learned to respect my ancestors, their beliefs. I don't understand it, but I'm not going to judge them or just, oh my God, I've got to take a picture. Wow, 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 wow. This looks amazing. Wow. So you might say, oh, it took so long, but if you want something to be good, it might take you a little time. And like I said, I am retired. I don't need to rush through anything, whether it's doing exercise or cooking or eating. I have all the time in the world, don't I? Mm-hmm. But this is an amazing salad. I don't know if we call it salad, but I guess that's what they call it. All right. Let me take a couple of pictures. Then we're gonna plate. We have the potatoes waiting to be plated. Ooh. Mira. Ooh. Listen. Wow. Qué belleza. I'm looking to buy a new phone. I need a new Android. Do you know the one I want comes to about $1,600? The iPhone 17 is over $2,000. You know, I have a problem with that. I just don't understand why I have to pay. Oh, this is hot. I have to pay that much. All right, so if we wanted to, before we plate, no, let's plate, and then we'll put the avocado and stuff. I can put it here, so let's see, stay right here. Okay. Let's see what plates we are going to use. We need a flat plate, and then I'm going to use this for another plate. You know, I always do two when I do my salads. We used this one last time, so we're not going to use that one. Let's use, I like this square plate. I need to find some more like this. I like this one. And you know, every time I say I want something else, then it's like, maybe you're adding more plate, more stuff. I'm trying to declutter. Okay, with my potatoes. These are the potatoes we are going to use here. All right, let me give you a more of a close-up. I think when I finish here today, I'm going to do one of the videos. I'm going to do a video about retirement and the myths of retirement. All right, right here. So what I want to do is make like, I hope I have enough to do, put it one next to each other on top, kind of right like this, so like that, and this is where I'm playing, okay? Play with your food. Maggie plays with her food unapologetically. I had to kind of stop and say, how are you going to say that word? Mira, qué belleza. Mírame. And this is roasted potatoes, roasted herb potatoes. Now, we are going to put the salad in the middle. Remember, my hands are clean, so no judgment. When you go to the restaurant, trust me, that's how they plate your food. So don't get it twisted. Don't think that they don't touch your food. Yes, they do. The chef touches your food. They put their hand in it. At least you know I wash my hands. Somebody put a post yesterday, and I heard that when I was studying that if you cook rice and then leftover rice, when you reheat it, it's not healthy. You could have some bacteria, in it. Oh my God. The whole Caribbean community erupted. Girl, go sit down. My grandmother, when we cooked, we ate that rice all week long. And none of us ever got sick. I was just laughing so hard. I'm like, that is true. And we have the thing that we call gratin, which is a hard part of that rice. We love that. So for you to come and tell people that if they reheat the rice, there's bacteria, they're gonna get sick. Oh, people were so mad. They were so mad. Now remember, you always want height with your food. I love it. Okay, so now let's see if we want to put some avocado. Now you could cut the avocado and do another layer, but I think that would be too much. We're not gonna do that. Okay, let's see. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? Okay, I don't like the way this one looks, so this is gonna be for me. I'm gonna eat that, but I'm gonna cut into the other one that might look fresher. Absolutely. And you know, when you order, they say, do you want them maduro? Do you want them cooked? Or do you want them mixed? I always say a mix. That means you have some that are in different stages of maturity. So they don't all, and this is what they call pura mantequilla aquí in Panama. When you cut into a Panamanian avocado, they say it is pure butter. That means it looks so good, and it does, and tastes like butter. And you know how I used to use avocado when I was little? You cut into a really nice avocado, and then you got a piece of warm bread, and you put some peanut butter. Sold. It is so good. All right. So now the skin is a bit fragile, so I'm going to easily get into it. Oh, it broke. No bueno. All right, that's not good. But I could do something, right? And then let's cut it in half. Yes. And put it right here. And put it right here. Oh, look how pretty. And the onions. Oh. No haga esto. Quédate acá. Okay, let me fix it. We have a child that is misbehaving right here. Okay, all right. Yep, we got it. And we're gonna put some of that onion. If you want to fry it, you're welcome to, but this is just a garnish. Wow. Wow. Okay. Oh, it's so pretty. And then, if you had one of those bottles where you can drizzle, I'm eating the potatoes. Yes, of course. I'm always snacking on my food, okay? I'm gonna drizzle a little of the potatoes, like you said, Miss Greta. OMG. Listen. Oh, mira qué belleza. Oh. Potatoes are mine, are yours, okay. All right. All right. So now let's see how else we could plate this. So in this one, I'm gonna cut the avocado because remember, avocados have nice amount of good fat. So this one is usually kind of ad lib. This one, look at that. Ugh. Yes. So how if you go to a store, to a restaurant, and you ask for a quinoa salad, I can guarantee you it's not going to be to the level of my salad. I mean, this is a given. They're not going to put all that in there. And if they did, they're going to charge you a lot more, right? Because this is labor intensive. But my labor is out of love, right? Okay, so now let's put like 2 slices of avocado on the side, el aguacate, que me encanta. Mira, pura mantequilla. Okay, I'm gonna start over here so that this little very delicate on the top doesn't break. See? That's what you do. You learn to do that. And you put that here, and then, where's the other one? Oh, right here. We're gonna start at the bottom again, because it's easier to break at the neck because the neck is more sensitive. Wow. Okay. Aquí estamos. Here we go. Ooh. All right, so let's see. Is there anything else I need to add on here? Maybe we'll slice some lime and, you know, for decoration. Let's just do that. Okay, I used the other one. Let's use another one. Yes, lime is a good decorating piece. All right, so I'm wiping it just in case there's some junk on it. Now I could do wedges or I could do slices. I think I like slices. Right? 1, 2, and 3. Yes. Remember what I said, decoration is another part of cooking. So don't neglect that part, okay? And of course, it has to look perfecto. Let me put that one at the bottom. Mira, así se ve. Listen, I get so excited when I cook and then I come up with something pretty that is pleasing to the eye, which is what should always be your goal. So whatever salad I make, I try to do a couple of plates. Now those potatoes, Greta, you better send that drone. See how you can make, that's kind of scalloped potatoes minus all the cream and the cheese. That's gonna make you fat. So you could do that for your scalloped potatoes. And then you can do more potatoes and then just keep layering it around your pan, right? Let's see, what else would you do? If you have like ratatouille, you could put ratatouille in here. You could do a curry, anything that where you have greens and you're looking for some starch, okay? This one is just trying to balance everything out. But you eat a little bit of that potato, that's not gonna make you fat, okay? But anyway, I wish the beans were really black, but I'm very happy with this plate, aren't you? Aww. And look at this, look at this. Oh, I need to put a bit more dressing on this. Oh, let's put a bit more dressing on this. Because we don't want to eat dry food. No bueno, no dry food allowed, right? And again, I need one of these bottles with the narrow neck, you know, something like, kind of like this, but the stuff that I have in the dressing need to be able to go through it, so that's the thing. So let's put a little bit of dressing on our salad, and our potatoes are going to be blessed so nothing is dry, because I don't eat dry food. And if somebody serves me dry food, I'm going to tell you. Like my daughter, we went to a restaurant in downtown, no, it wasn't downtown Disney, it was in Kissimmee, like International Drive. And we went to this restaurant and she's like, Mom, don't embarrass me. I said, I'm not going to embarrass you. But if the food is bad, I'm going to tell him. I'm not going to come out and say it. But then this young man came and said, how is everything? I said, well, since you ask, I said, the mushrooms were dry and they were cold. So I went to this restaurant. You know, don't serve people things that shows that you have not put time and effort in it. That's the thing with restaurant. You get so complacent or you get pressured when it's busy time, and then you're sending food out that is cold or old. That is a killer. And someone like me, I will not go back. I went to this restaurant here in Panama, Abroad-SWRA, and everybody's, you know, I wanted to try it. But the falafels were cold. How long does it take you to just drop it in there and cook it? Even if you wanted to reheat it and make me think that it's warm. But you serve me something cold and it's hard and I can tell it's old, that's a no bueno. And that's the reason I don't go out to eat, because I think I can do better at home. I'm saying it, I'm not being conceited, but I prefer to eat my own food. And I know what's in it and I know how it was prepared. That's just me, all right? So thank you for hanging with me. Oh my God, look at the time. Okay, no bueno. How can a salad take that long? But it was made with love, right? And then I'm gonna relax. Gracias, señoras, por estar conmigo. Disfruten del día. Que pasen un buen fin del día. Ok, nos vemos la próxima semana. Hasta luego. Chao. Don't forget the likes. Hit the like button, por favor. I think good.